Welcome to Whispering Willows. I'm Tonya and I'm a psychic medium.
I'm Jamie and I'm a psychotherapist.
And today we're going to be talking about EFT.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's going to be our expert and she's going to tell us all about it.
So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. And so...
Of course, Parker has to make a scene.
So essentially it's a way to regulate our nervous system and reduce our anxiety so that we can just function better. And so I think I was kind of mentioning this a little bit in our last episode where, you know, when we're in an anxious state or in a trauma state, sometimes our emotions get kind of stuck in our body. And so EFT, think of it like if you're building a house and there's electricity in the walls, but you turn the breaker off, so the electricity isn't moving anymore. It's just like it's staying stagnant. And then you flip the switch, and the electricity starts to flow through the walls again, right? So that's kind of what like happens with our emotions. They get stuck in there. And so techniques like EFT, they like flip that switch so that the emotions can flow freely through the body again.
Okay. All right. I'm excited about this, actually.
Yeah. So what we want to start with is we come up with a statement that says, even though I blank, so even though I have a certain problem or situation that I'm dealing with, I fully love and accept myself.
Okay.
So Tonya and I kind of talked about this earlier, and so your statement is going to be what?
My statement is, even though I get anxious during public speaking, I fully love and accept myself.
Good. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we tap on each of the meridian points that an acupuncturist uses. So sometimes people call EFT like psychological acupuncture.
Oh, okay.
So instead of the needles, we're tapping on those points.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you're going to follow after me.
Okay.
All right. So the first spot that we're going to tap, it's called the karate chop.
Okay.
So it's just like this like fatty part of your hand.
And you do it like this?
And so I'll say it and you repeat after me.
Okay.
Okay. So even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
Okay. Next we're going to move to the top of the head.
Okay.
Just the center. Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
Okay. Next we're going to go to the inner eyebrow.
Okay. Just either one?
Yeah, either one like on the inside. Yep.
Okay.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
Okay, now we're going to go to the outer eyebrow. Even though I'm anxious about
public speaking, I love and
fully
love and accept myself.
Good.
Okay.
Now we're going to go on our cheekbone, like under the eye.
Like under. Okay.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
And we're going to go like where a mustache would be.
Okay.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
I'm going to go under in the little crease of our chin.
Okay.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
Okay. Now we're going to do like the meaty part of our chest.
Okay. Like
right there.
Okay.
Even though
I'm
anxious about public speaking.
I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
Okay. Now we're going to do our rib cage, like kind of like where, like in the front more, like where, right there.
Okay. I feel like my breath. Okay.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
And then we're going to do the last one is like where your bra strap is on that side.
Okay.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
We're going to come back to the karate chop.
Okay.
Even though
Even though
I'm anxious about public speaking.
I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
Now we're going to do the corner of our cuticle where the nail hits.
Okay.
On your thumb. Yep.
Okay.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
Now we're going to go to the next finger. Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
Next one. Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
And we're going to skip the ring finger. We're going to go to pinky. Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
And one more karate chop. Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
Even though I'm anxious about public speaking.
I fully love and accept myself.
I fully love and accept myself.
Good. Okay.
It is very calming. Like I felt like this calm go over me.
Yeah.
Like I think once I hit all the points on my face and then it started to kind of come over me. I was more calm.
Yeah.
So would we do that so my example was being in a room full of people, in a classroom, and the teacher calls on you and I'm like, I don't know the answer, don't call on me. Those are the moments where I'm having that.
Mm-hmm.
So would I do that before I went into class?
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, and so it would work that way. So also my meetings for work and stuff. Sometimes I'm just I've been there only for a year. So
yeah.
Sometimes the things they talk about, I'm just wait, what? And so afterwards I'm always researching some of the things or whatever. But they'll ask me questions, and because there's so many people, I get a little anxious.
Yeah.
But if it's me one-on-one with somebody, I will ask them questions, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I just have a thing about, it's the not knowing.
Right.
For me, and it makes me feel out of control.
And you have a fear of looking weak or looking stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. So if I'm talking about something in a group of people, just be sure that I know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. If somebody all of a sudden asks me a question and I have no clue, or I might know but I'm unsure of myself, that's when it triggers me. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's but if it's me and you one-on-one, it's not. I'll just be asking questions.
Yeah.
You
and
know?
You could even, in the middle of your meeting, if you feel your anxiety bubbling up, you can excuse yourself, go to the restroom, and, do some tapping in the restroom.
Oh, okay.
You know, to kind of, bring it back down.
Right. Yeah, so I'll probably do that before, because we have meetings on Friday morning, and that's where we have open discussions and stuff like that. And it's not anything serious, but I do know that I did ramble at this last meeting. I was just because I'm nervous.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm new, I'm the newest one in the group, and now they're starting to ask me questions because I do know more, but sometimes I second guess myself, you know, even though I do know, but I'm just not there yet, you know.
So, you know, one thing with EFT, when you're doing it with a clinician is, you know, the therapist is listening to kind of what comes up for you next, after we do the whole round of tapping. And what did you just say? You said, oh, I lost it.
Oh, I don't know. What did I say?
Should we rewind? You said, shit, what did you just say?
That I feel out of control. And then it triggers. That's what triggers it. The not knowing and out of control, and you know, I don't have control of what's going on, so then I feel triggered. I'm supposed to know.
I'm supposed to know.
Yeah, I'm supposed to know.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case.
Right.
But in my brain, that's what triggers me, because I think that you know how we always talk about how things that when you were a child develop you, and so I just remember being school was really stressful if I went into a teacher's classroom that would not that would just call on you without asking, does anyone know the answer?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
if I
when
knew
you're
the
put on
answer,
spot.
if I knew the answer, I would raise my hand, but I would have to be 100% for sure I know this answer. And so I think that like being put on the spot, like that gets me and that triggers me. And so then I feel out of control because I didn't know that was coming. You know? So it is like kind of a control thing with me. So it makes sense.
All right. So what is your like level of anxiety? Like right now, okay. Imagine that your boss calls you and says, okay, Tonya, I need you to like teach people in the meeting. Like you have to hop on Zoom in 5 minutes and I need you to like teach your team about such and such. If you think about having to do that in 5 minutes,
right?
Where's your anxiety from 1 to 10?
I'm gonna definitely be 8, 9. Just because like a quick like that quick of a turnaround, I would be like, oh gosh, like you know, like anytime that there's a rush and it's something that I'm still learning, I feel out of control and unsure. Now, when I worked at the bank, if my boss would have called me and said, in 5 minutes, you're going to need to do blah, 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 my anxiety might have been at a 5.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the unsure and the unknowing. Like at the bank, I was like the liaison. Like I knew everything. And I was very sure of myself.
Right.
With this being new, it's just like, okay, like maybe this is right. But then also with this particular job, there's multiple answers. You know what I mean? So it's like,
there's not a
which
specific
one?
right or wrong.
Yeah. So it's like, which one are we looking for? You know what I mean? So it's all dependent on other circumstances. And like when you give me a 5-minute, you know, heads up, that is not, you know, like I'm not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you told me in an hour, it would bring my anxiety down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I would be closer to 5 because I'd have time to like get everything together and determine what I'm going to say, you know, but being called out immediately, no. It's not for me, and I just cannot like handle that kind of you know, because like when I'm with all our friend group and stuff like that, like I speak out and like I'm not scared of that. I'm just like, it's the fear of like answering a question wrong. It's like goes back to grade school and like being embarrassed because at some point I must have answered a question wrong. And from that point on, I was like, okay, I need to be completely sure of myself going forward. And that developed at that time.
And so, like, if you were, you know, if we were actually in a therapy session, the next round that we would do is, even though I felt embarrassed, I fully love and accept myself. Okay. And you would do the whole sequence, even though I feel embarrassed.
Right.
Or, you know, even though I feel out of control. I fully love and accept myself. So you do like multiple rounds based on like kind of what comes up when we're talking about it. You know, like we do a round of tapping and then we talk about like what comes up, what are you feeling, and like what thoughts come to your mind. And then we do another round based on what just came up.
Okay. Do you feel like there's something that this particular technique works best on versus like other like issues?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of issues would this work best on?
That's a good question. I think that EFT works best with anxiety as opposed to, like, depression.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, because, like, the anxiety is what gets our nervous system in that, like, fight, flight, freeze mode. You know? Yeah. Like the anxiety or the trauma. And so, EFT is really good for, like, just stress and anxiety.
I get, like, super anxious. It was like telling you the story about when I first started doing the job that I have now. I had to go to classes. Yeah. And there were like 20 of us, I think. They were all men except for me. And every day he would do a teach back. So he would have someone in the class stand up and like do a teach back to the class from yesterday's lesson. And he was like, everyone's going to have to do it. And I would just be like, no. And this was like it was a 4-week course. We were like gone, like all these states and stuff, but we all traveled together and we all knew each other. By the time it got to the end, it was the very last day, And I kept like saying, no, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. And the teacher kept like pushing. And then everyone in the class they were kind of like pushing, oh no, you need to do it. You need to do it. And so then it just like overwhelmed me. I like left the room and I went and I threw up. Like, and I was like crying, and like I came back and they all felt so horrible, but then I was like, I have anxiety with it. Like, you can't, like, you know what I mean? It was just like, I can't stand up in front of you because I'm unsure of this until I put this into work. You know, like I'm learning. So if it's something I just learned yesterday, I might be able to, but if I get one thing wrong, it also has to do with like being a perfectionist. Yeah. If I get one thing wrong, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Like to myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like everyone else might not think that I am. Right. But to myself, I will think that. So, it really just like triggered me. And as an adult, you know, and I'm the only woman in there, and they're just all like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Like they didn't know what to say to me. Yeah. And I was just like, oh yeah, I told you guys. And I think the teacher felt awful. In fact, he doesn't even teach. It was
like a learning moment for him.
Well, he doesn't even teach that anymore. And I just found out that he went to another company, and he had been doing that for a year. So I hope it wasn't like my class. So he was like, I can't do this because now I got people like throwing up and crying in class. Like it was really, I was just like, oh my God, I never, you know, but like I'm such, like people don't look at me that way because I'm outspoken. Yeah. So for me to,
and you present as very confident.
Yeah. So for that to happen, everyone was just in complete shock. I mean, I was almost in shock, you know, because I was like, I haven't had like this kind of anxiety in so long. It just took me back to being in school and like being called out and just like, I don't know the answer completely to this question. Yeah. Even though I could have stood up there and I could have given them some information because I did learn and I did know things, but it was just like the uncertainty of it, you know?
And, you know, in our, I think it was like our Therapy 101 episode, you know, I kind of talked about cognitive behavioral therapy, which is like paying attention to our thoughts and how they impact our mood. And so, you know, in some cases, that's enough, and that would have been effective for you to be like, okay, Tonya, you can do this, you're new, and everybody understands it, and, you know, they're going to give you grace, just do the best you can, and it'll be fine. Right? Sometimes that's enough that we can, like, talk ourselves into thinking positive and into, like, believing we can do something. But sometimes it just doesn't work. Yeah. Right? Because there's like a disconnect in our like our mind and our body. Sometimes if there's like that physical sensation, like, you know, you said you threw up. Like obviously there's like something in the body that's going on that like your thoughts are just like it's not gonna quite do the trick. And so that's when like these like somatic techniques are really helpful.
I think the other thing that's really like come into play with all of this anxiety is that hormones, like I am premenopausal, so along with that comes extra anxiety. Yeah. And normally I'm not. So reacting to that the way that I did, I was surprised myself. Yeah. I feel like I'd never had that sort of reaction. I mean, I know that I've been like anxious or whatever, but to have a reaction that intense, I believe that was 100% like because of hormones and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't even like, even that was a year ago, probably a year ago, like a year ago yesterday is when I had that. And so it's like, I am not even in the same place now where I feel like I could potentially, but I don't think it would be to that extent. You know what I mean? But like my hormones were all over the place at that time. So,
and then you can also like shorten it, you know, because like the statement that we use, like it takes time, right? It's like a lot of words and a big statement to go through all of the meridian points. And so, you know, you can do around like that, and then you can shorten it and be like, I have to do public speaking and I hate it. I have to do public speaking and I'm anxious. Oh, this damn public speaking. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to do this. I'm so anxious. You know, and you can kind of like just be playful with it, and it's still gonna have the same effect.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like this would be something that I could try weekly because I can do it before our meeting in case something comes up. Like the thing with our meeting is like it's not always like they're asking me questions or anything. A lot of times we're listening and we're learning.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's like, hey, this, and this. Tonya, do you think this, and this? Like, they're asking a lot of times for my opinion. You know, and I'm like, I feel like I'm too new to give you this, but I know it. I know the stuff. It's just me being called out on the spot about it. I'm like, I don't have time to gather my thoughts because I am still in the learning process. And I just need a little bit of extra time, you know? So, I think that, like, it is, like, the quick, like, oh, you've got to do this, like, right now.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to get this done.
Like, no time to prepare.
Yeah. And I'm just like, no, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. And, like, I'm just like, I can, but it's just, like, the last minute. Like, I remember when I first started working there, and the owner was trying to teach me things, and he is just, like, a squirrel. And he's all over the place. And everything is, like his tone when it comes over, like, it needs to be done. Like it has to be done, like, right now, you know?
Yeah.
And everything was, like, last minute. And I was like, oh, my gosh, like, I just, like, am learning this. Like, I need time to process and understand it.
Yeah.
And understand what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And now they've, like, realized, you know, that. So, like, they figured out how, like, they didn't really have, like, a training program. Like, it's just kind of, like, throw you in and figure it out.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of anxiety with this job change for me, you know. So it's been quite the ride, but like I feel like I'm in a much better place.
Yeah.
So and understanding and knowing, but yeah, this would be a great technique for me to use on my Friday morning meetings. So
yeah,
that's what I'll be doing.
Yay.
So I'm glad that you showed me. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, and just like real quick before we go, I kind of want to just touch on the Hurricane Helene situation that's going on in, you know, Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee, which is where I moved from. So it's like very near and dear to my heart. But, you know, I think that EFT would be a really good technique for people who are impacted by that.
Yeah.
Right. So like, even though my community is in shambles, I fully love and accept myself. Even though this storm is so stressful, I fully love and accept myself. You know, even though my life feels out of control, you know, and so you can use this technique to, you know, kind of get through those difficult times too.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, everyone's stressed out. Like, at this point, Katie lives there. That was on our show, on our, like, third podcast. Yeah, the generational differences.
Yeah.
She lives there. So, like, but you said her house is fine. Did she get power back yet? Or is she still no power?
She has power.
She has power now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It affected so many people. Like, that's Asheville. My brother just moved to Spartanburg. He just got power yesterday. So they were without power for 9 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so much, you know, devastation.
Yeah. That's awful.
So, yeah, stressful situations like that, I mean, this would help.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, let's see. What are we talking about next week?
Next week is going to be
astrology.
Yeah. Star signs. You're going to read my chart,
basics.
Right?
Yes. I'm going to read her chart. And we're going to do the basics because it's a lot of information. Yeah. So, you know, maybe later on I'll do like more in-depth stuff, but we'll definitely do some basic stuff. So it's going to be fun.
Yay.
So don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know if there's something else you'd want us to discuss so we can talk about it. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.